Guys, thanks for attending. I can see roughly 50 plus participants. So there are a bunch of topics aligned for you. So we'll start with the basic few examples. If you look at in a day-to-day, very widely you are using some applications which are powered by artificial intelligence. And we are going to talk few AI-powered examples, how different industries AI is used, and then will we touch base with AI job market insights, and then we are going to talk the 100 plus new job roles created by artificial intelligence. Then the final, that's where always being a student is the big question: how to start, where to start, right? So how do you get started with your AI journey? And then finally, I'm going to take all your questions at the end. Maybe whenever, if you get some query or something, just type in the chat room so that we'll spend some sufficient time at the end of the session where I want to interact more and more. So let's talk 9 AI applications that you use probably every day. So the first example is your Gmail. I'm not sure how many people are using Gmail. So if you look at, once you get into the Gmail inbox, without our knowledge, few mails are classified under social or even promotions. Whenever there is some mail related to social, now let's say you tweeted something and one of your friend has typed something in a Facebook or some notification, that notification comes and sits under social. It won't come under your primary email. Even anything related to the promotion emails that comes and sit here. If you observe, there is one more new update here. What is that called? Updates. Now let's say there is one email came, you never replied that, then automatically that notification comes as an update. So don't you think that without our knowledge, there is some smart agent who is working on behalf of us to classify and segregate all these emails? And apart from that, whenever you are replying or composing a new email, it is able to identify and recommend the next lines for you. I'm not sure how many people saw that. And the second example is online shopping. So I'm sure a lot of times you observe that when you're trying to buy one particular product, automatically it is going to recommend you the other products with the rating, all the stuff. So that's recommender engine, what we call technically. So there is one best example how artificial intelligence works at a background. Now let's say you want to move from point A to point B. So let's say you are somewhere at high-tech city. From high-tech city, you want to move to Amirpet. Now, if you understand the difference between the distance between from high-tech city to Amirpet, it is going to show you how many kilometers by road, by train, by bus. It is going to tell you the distance as well, the time as well. And in a real time, it is going to update the time as well. Now, let's say there is a huge traffic, then automatically you will get alert. Now, even when you are trying to book a cab, whether it's a Ola, Uber, even that application, everything is powered by artificial intelligence. Now tell me, how can a system can understand where exactly the driver is and how much time the driver is going to take? So all this stuff, it is a clever algorithm at the background. There is something called a Spotify, so where you can have a lot of songs inside, and when you randomly play 4 or 5 songs, automatically based on the pattern which you are playing, it will suggest you and it will give you the same pattern. So the smart agent is too smart where he's able to understand your listening pattern and he's to recommend you the respective songs. The same thing will happen in even YouTube also. Now let's say you are continuously playing 5 or 6 songs related to some rock music, automatically the next few songs will come as a rock. Now even Google is able to predict your search terms also. Now let's say I'm trying to search something related to artificial intelligence course or artificial intelligence movies, before I type here, can you see there? When I'm typing artificial intelligence, it is recommending the predictive searches as well. What will be my next search? Nowadays, if you look at the young generation, especially the kids below somewhere less than 10 years old, all are emotionally connected to, all are somehow they are connected to this fancy toys, whether it may be Alexa, Siri, Google Now, Cartoon Now. My kid is around 8 years, so whenever in the morning he wakes up, he never say good morning, Baba. Rather, he says, "Hey, good morning, Alexa. What is the time now?" And even he search, he will understand how is the weather today. Based on that, he will decide whether to carry an umbrella or not. And even major of the young kids nowadays, if you look at, they're taking huge help from these gadgets to do homework. The other way around, if you look at the security and surveillance, so everywhere we are keeping the CC cameras, right? So in few cases, people are using video analytics, might be a event detection. Now let's say there is some kind of a fire accident happened in your home or in your apartment, then automatically you should have some kind of alert, right? So using computer vision, where we can detect that event and we can pass that information to the right decision maker, so that accordingly you can take some decision. So the same thing can be happened: theft identification, violence detection, fire detection, crowd analytics, and suspicious movement as well. This is what the future is. So heavily we are going to do even video analytics. Now even with the COVID effect, if you look at, lot of social distancing apps are coming. So the everything when you talk about the social distancing, it's nothing but video analytics. Now even if you see the mobiles, few mobiles are completely AI powered. Anything you talk about Google Pixel 2 and above, Honor View, Samsung S8 and above, or MI A3 and above, these all mobiles are artificial intelligence powered. Directly, indirectly, you are using artificial intelligence in a day-to-day activities. Now, these are one of the important factors we need to understand. See, there are some notation, representation from 0 to 100% users adoption. And here you can see there is a time frame from 1940 to 2010. And if you look at here, one of the huge impact happened with electricity for human lives. So which for the 100% adoption, electricity has took more than 100 years. If you look at here, right? See that. This one I'm talking. Right? But few things, internet, mobile, credit card, internet, this one took less than 30 or 40 years. Now let me tell you friends, artificial intelligence for the 100% adoption, it is not going to even take 10 years. It would be a less than 10 years because we are already impacted. You take all the businesses are vertically, horizontally impacted by artificial intelligence. That's why very heavily we are talking about automation nowadays, right? Now, disruption is the new normal, and disruption is everywhere because the world, what we live is called VUCA. We have a volatile, you has uncertainties, he has a complex, he has ambiguous. So as I said earlier, disruption is everywhere, irrespective of the industry, whether you are belongs to manufacturing, you belongs to oil and gas, sports industry, education, politics, technology, economy. All the things are disrupted heavily. So let me take a few quick examples how AI is disrupting the huge business industries. So we know always when we enter into any theater or a comedy club, we need to take ticket by paying some X amount as a entry, right? So these guys have come up with a model where your entry is absolutely free, and once you go inside, how many times you are going to laugh, you need to pay for that. Just imagine, for laughing also you need to pay money, and each laugh will cost you 4.30 cents. That is 100 cents equals to $1, and maximum ticket cost is $24. Now if you see in the picture here, seat number one. Yeah, seat number one had a 40 laughs, for which you need to pay $12. Right? If you see here, seat number 22 had a 72 laughs, for which you need to pay $21. You just imagine the kind of a model which they are using. So automatically, whenever a spectator had some laugh on the face, so the AI using computer vision, it is going to capture the emotion, one take. Again, there is a laugh, one more take. Now see, these guys are too extreme. Now even they introduced something called pay per cry. You just imagine, for crying also you need to pay money. Then we are moving to another example. Amazon has collected a huge amount of data about a consumer, where they are able to predict your buying pattern also. So the model, what they call is ship then shop. So that means usually whenever we do some shopping, we'll get into the Amazon website and we pick what are the products we want, we will add to the cart and finally check out. And after some time, the logistics will happen, so that you will get the parcel. You just reimagine an experience without your knowledge. You have not even ordered a single item, but without your knowledge, automatically a parcel will come, pick what are the products you want, remaining leave it. That's reverse logistics. That's what they call ship then shop. So this anticipatory shipping model is they're already using in one state in US. So very soon it is going to introduce in India as well. You just imagine the kind of data they collected, where they are able to predict the buying pattern of a behavior, the buying pattern of a consumer. So that's what they call ship then shop then ship to ship then shop. Now this is one of the crazy example from our backyard Bengaluru. His name is Saad Nasser. 14 years Saad Nasser is the co-founder and chief technology officer of Ati Motors. So they are trying to build autonomous electric cargo vehicle. You can see there is a small vehicle here. So if you look at Malleshwaram, is a famous for glass and vegetable market. So when Saad Nasser used to go to school in those days, so he always observed in the morning, majority of the people, the grocery wala, they used to come in the morning and they used to buy, and with the huge luggage, they used to travel in two-wheelers. So he observed that there is a problem whenever he met with an accident. That's why he's trying to solve a problem for these people, where you can have autonomous electric cargo vehicle. What are the products you purchase it, you just dump here and type the location, so that it is going to deliver you that. So here, this is the ecosystem of a place in the new born. It's not even born. The technology which we are talking is autonomous vehicles. If you see here, very few only companies who have some kind of automotive experience. Whether you talk Audi, Toyota, BMW, Honda, Nissan, Kia, Mercedes, up to this. And if you look at 95% of players, they never had experience with automotive, whether they never manufactured a car or a truck or a goods vehicle, anything. So all are tech people. See here, if you look at this box. So that's why 95% of players are completely with a non-automotive background. So there was the days where whenever you have some problem with your banking, where you need to call to the customer care, then you need to dial, you need to the customer representative is going to ask you some security questions, and you need to verify that, and then ye dabaye, one dabaye, teen dabaye, right? Which the conversation goes to 3 to minimum 5 minutes time. Now just imagine the re-experience of the a new way of doing banking. So you ask a question like this, you are going to get answers. That's what we are calling chatbots. So the HDFC is the first bank in India who introduced the first chatbot for the bank. It's called EVA. See, you want to ask a question. So in the beginning, you are going to select what is the kind of query related to. Once you select that, you type a question, you are going to get the response like this. Now see there, the Wonderla in Kochi, they introduced a robot as an employee. So even we might have multiple times faced the same issue, right? So we don't know when will be the next ride. Now let's say I want to explore the giant wheel, but I don't know the timing. You just reimagine experience where you are going to interact with the robo, and robo is going to answer your questions in your local language. If whether you or robo is not able to understand the language what you are speaking, and it is going to display on the screen. So what do you have here? It's called Lisa. The robot name is Lisa. And this is one more crazy example. We fundamentally from our childhood, we believe that for the education, we need to pay certain amount, right, as a tuition fee or something. Where this college, Lambda, has come up with a model, your education is absolutely free. Once you get into a job, you need to pay 2 years, 17% of your salary for the first 2 years. That means they are assuring the outcome-based education. But trust me, this model is only for India. Because after 16 years in US, people used to stay away from the family and they will start working, right? So that's where they capture all the digital data. And based on the AI model, the college will run that, and that model will decide if we give admission to the student X, whether he is going to get a job or not. And this is one more example. His name is Abu Khader. So he's around 18 years old. And again, he's one of the co-founder and chief technology officer of Gilead Lab from USA. So he built a product which can detect breast cancer for all age groups of women. So this picture as captured from one of the interview where he was addressing and talking to a person who is Google AI head with around 53 years. When the gentleman was asking a question, the Google AI head, how come a student who is not even completed a college graduation and he is able to solve one of the world's biggest problem? Then he replied, so I identified a right problem and I learned AI, machine learning, everything in Google at a free of cost. And as I get the data, I'm able to solve the problem. That was the response from Abu Khader. Now, even I'm not sure how many people. So, because in India, cricket is a religion, right? If you observe, whenever there is a doubt on the decision which is given by an umpire, so where the captains got a choice where they can review their the umpire decision, right? That's called DRS. Now, when you have the DRS in the place, whether the ball is going to hit the wickets or not, what is the impact inline or not inline, where the ball is pitching, which is outside the pitch or inside the pitch. So based on this insights, the third umpire is going to take what was the original decision, or we need to roll back. So this everything is done by using computer vision in artificial intelligence. So this technology was introduced by Hawkeye. And even if you look at the card behind using the Ultra Edge, so this also same. So very heavily here we will use artificial intelligence leveraging computer vision and algorithm. So just reimagine experience where you are going to get into a shop, pick what are the products you want. There is no need to stand in the line. but automatically the bill will happen. It will be deducted from your account and you will be leaving from the place. So there will be no cashier to collect the money in the shop. So just imagine the experience. So this is already introduced by Amazon. In Asia, it's Asia's first autonomous cashierless store. And just believe, just remember that it is not from either Silicon Valley, Bangalore, or Mumbai, or Hyderabad. This is from Kochi, and the shop name is called Vata Sale. Just see there. And whenever if you have some time, just try to note this word, Affectiva. Just try to install in your smart mobile and play around with this tool. So always the human emotions can be detected by another humans, right? Where Affectiva can detect more than 16 emotions of a human. Once you install Affectiva, just play around, keeping your face in front of the cam when you are giving some expression. Let's say I'm happy. In a real time, it is going to rate your emotion. If you are angry, what is that percentage? That's where it is going to rate your emotion. So I'm not sure how many people know that there is one restaurant in Hyderabad. Once you order, the things are going to serve by robot. It's called Robo Kitchen. This is again from Hyderabad, Jubilee Hills. Now let's move to the other topic. So far, if you look at, we took multiple examples in the different industries how AI is widely used. Now let's spend some time on the AI job marketplace. So there's one good saying: if you want to command a multi-tier salary, you used to have only 4 career options: chief executive officer, banker, celebrity entertainer, or pro athlete. Now there is a fifth, which is artificial intelligence expert. AI professionals are in heavy demand because we are talking about the fourth industry revolution with automation, artificial intelligence, IoT, cybersecurity, 3D printing, drones. All this are playing a key role. So technically, if you look at where your AI is the core ecosystem, which is basically a programming or algorithm, in and around what you have, whether it's IoT, Internet of Things, blockchain, 3D printing, drones, cybersecurity, all this will become infrastructure or hardware for AI. So go to any website, job portal related, whether it's Naukri, Monster, Payscale, whatever, Dice. So just type machine learning engineer or data scientist or data analyst. All the jobs you can see. This was the picture I captured yesterday. See there, how many jobs. When I type data scientist, see there, it's more than a lakh, 1,21,000. Sorry, it's 12,125. So you go to any website, just type there, you will get a huge. Maybe you can search for AI engineer, data scientist, ML engineer, deep learning engineer, whatever. So top 10 jobs involving AI skills. So if you talk about machine learning engineer, the number of postings containing AI or machine learning, see that it's 75%. Deep learning engineer, senior data scientist, computer vision engineer, data scientist, algorithm developer, junior data scientist, developer consultant, director of data science, lead data scientist. So his name is Tanmay Bakshi, who is the world's youngest IBM Watson programmer at the age of 12. Just imagine, his age is 15 years and he's working with IBM as well, Google. He's working with both two organizations. And this example is from our back at Hyderabad. His name is Siddharth. He's studying 7th standard and he's the Asia's youngest data scientist. Just see his lifestyle. 3 days he goes to school, 3 days he goes to office. This is where the future is. 65% of students will work in jobs that do not exist today. Just imagine the kind of future what we are talking. Still in a corporate, majority of the people don't know what is that role looks like. At that point of time, we are saying data scientist, machine learning engineer, AI engineer, deep learning. But more than that, we are going to get new job roles which we never had in the past. See that 65% of students will work in jobs that do not exist today. We'll see what are the job roles looks like. And the bad news is 50% of today's jobs will be replaced by AI. 2.3 million, the number of jobs AI is going to create by 2020, that means this year. So while eliminating 1.8 million, accounting a net 2 million new jobs by 2025. That means 2.3 minus 1.8 plus 2 million, which is approximately 2.4 million, which is not even a small number, right? In fact, it will be more. See that across the globe, if you look at, this is where we are talking about the opportunities in and around an AI everywhere. You take any country, you have AI opportunity, whether it's US, whether it's Asia, whether it's Middle East. So the good news is that Google is had allocated some close to $25 million, which can be leveraged for research work by schools or institutions, which can be social cause. It should be social cause. And apart from the job, even we have limitless opportunities being entrepreneurship also, where you can start some startup and you are trying to solve a problem, might be a local problem or global problem. Now let's talk about that 100 new job roles created by artificial intelligence. So just remember, we spoke, there is a very powerful statement, 65% of students are going to work on a job that do not exist, right? Now let's see. So we are going to have the traditional way, what we have CEO, CTO, like that. Similarly, you are going to have a chief AI officer, data pre-processor, data detective, data explorer, data protector, data ethicist, AI assisted technician, newsbot editor, genetics consultant, 3D print product designer, cybersecurity analyst, data farmer, simulation software engineer. One second. See that? Digital design engineer, data center technologies. So on top, if you see, these three jobs are related to hardware. Tensor compiler engineer, quantum optics scientist, facial recognition developer, intelligent data miner, data privacy editor, facial recognition developer, data interpreter, data curator. If you look at data wrangler, so majority of the jobs are starting with data, right? So in the reality, if you look at 80% of work is related to pre-processing, data pre-processing, what we call. Once you get the data, where you need to process the data, you need to massage the data, you need to filter the data. That's what we call data pre-processing. And the remaining 20% work is actual development. So that's why I'm saying data curator, data wrangler, data pre-processor, all the jobs are related to this. And as we talk about the technology, autonomous driving technology, see there, it's more than 40 plus new jobs. Thermal engineer, camera technology specialist, imaging scientist, autonomous vehicle operations center manager, aeronautical autonomy, autonomy engineer. We never heard this autonomous vehicle operations center support engineer, LiDAR technology specialist. All these jobs are completely new. We never heard. And you just imagine if you are using your mobile as the Apple, see there is a job for even Siri also, Siri watch engineer, Siri performance engineer. So these are all related to natural language processing. Now, when you say startups, who are going to give you jobs, specifically from a startup point of view? There are broadly 4 types of startups who can hire you: robotic startups, autonomous vehicle startups, sensor AI startups, space intelligence startups. Now this part we already covered, the young hungry disruptors who are known as startups. So apart from that, I can name few: Futura, Sastra, Detect, even Orbit Shifters, Safe Ventures, The Hive, Lumus, Vertex. All this, if you look at the startup ecosystem, and the big ironic companies, whether it's IBM, Capgemini, Honeywell, Siemens, ABB, Bosch, Robert Bosch. And one side, even we have an industrial venture capitalists. You name Falconex, Axelor, Hive, Pi, Vortex. Even nowadays, VCs are going to give you jobs for AI, especially. And apart from that, the defense cluster are even 20 plus Army, Navy, Air Force. So very widely, Indian government is using artificial intelligence for whether you call Army, Navy, Air Force. So at a high level, if you look at these are the pay scale for approximate salaries for the AI engineers. Machine learning engineer, which is $1,42, which is apparently you can say somewhere between 1 lakh to 1,30,000 in between in Indian currency. Data scientist, computer vision engineer, 126K. Data warehouse architect, 126K. Algorithm engineer, $1,09,000. Now, what are the skills required to get AI job? So technically, the programming language we use is a Python, and you should be familiar with at least these techniques, which we call clustering, regression, classification, text mining, scoring, ensemble model building, model maintenance. In deep learning, you should be familiar with the convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, long short-term memory, and chatbots. Or another way, you can say at least natural language processing. So at a high level, let me tell you clearly, AI is for all. AI is not only for the computer science students or AI is only for the mathematics students. AI is for all, whether you are a student from electric background, whether you are from a mechanical background, whether you are from a civil background, anyone. AI is for all. So the key skills, if you look at on the left-hand side, maybe you're related to some mechanical or electrical, fluid dynamics, instrumentation, AI, ML, GL, or OT. On the other right-hand side, if you look at the roles, AI product managers, subject matter expert, because when you're trying to build products in electrical domain, you should have a subject matter expert, right? So solution architect, instrumentation specialist, control system specialist, engineering data scientist, user experience design, the front end part, data architect, algorithm developers, security specialist, infrastructure specialist, programmers. Now, very important question, how do you get started your AI journey? So today you are here, how is that leaf frog process looks like when you move from here to there? So try to form a group of minimum 5 people as a team, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're comfortable. And make sure all the team consists of different background. One from electric background, one from electrics background, one from civil, one from electronics, like that, different streams. Don't be from one different segment. And start understanding the basic foundational commands of a Python. Do a real-time project. Give a target of 30 days, 60 days as a team. You have to do that. One real-life project. Before identifying the project, we need to answer one question. What do you see which others don't see? That's the only one question you need to answer. So just imagine the kind of question answered by the problem answered by Saad Nasser, Abu Khader. So that way you need to identify one specific problem and start identifying that problem and doing the things. Rest of the things will come automatically. Once you have started your project, you need to create reputation about yourself and for your team, for your project. So that can be done in three ways. As it is an open source technology, you can keep all your code in the GitHub. You can start writing blogs in the Medium about your project. So this is one good place where you can see a lot of real-time practitioners are going to write a blogs here. And you need to participate in a Quora and Stack Overflow. So nothing is a mistake. There is a no win, no fail. There is only a make. Remember this. So always try to integrate your existing experience, expertise plus AI. Then automatically fruits will follow. So welcome to new Brave World. So you can watch a lot of interviews on my name. Just go to YouTube channel, search for Mahesh Kumar CV. You'll get some more insights and different things from different perspectives on AI. And even you can go to LinkedIn, search for my name. Under the articles, you can see, let's say you want to understand how AI can be used in financial sector, how AI can be used in defense, agriculture, banking, telecom, manufacturing, energy, oil and gas, government services, retailers. Like this, more than 50 plus blogs are there. So AI is a strategic game changer in the marketplace. AI explosion has begun. Start now and ride the wave. So very soon, India is going to become number one in global AI race. So just find your path. That's it. I'm happy to take your questions. So you can type your questions. Which is the best industry recognized? Okay, I'll just quickly read out for you, question by question. So which is the best industry recognized AI course for beginners? See, unfortunately, as there is no recognized course or something, to start with, Coursera might be excuse me, good way to start. So once you get into Coursera, you have multiple courses from a different universities. You can join there. For deep learning, it's only by Andrew. That's the only one course we have. And from Hyderabad, especially, there is something called Applied AI. So that course is pretty good nowadays. Any AI related meeting? One second, guys. I'm just making open. Any AI related meetup groups in Hyderabad? So in the same question, you have an answer, my friend. Go to meetup.com. You can see a lot of. What are the benefits of ship and shop? Any case study? Again, it's there in the same question. So probably you need to explore that. Just search, maybe you will get. But you don't get much details about that, as that's proprietary. They applied a patent around 2014 in USPTO. Maybe you just go to USPTO site, you'll get some more details. How to start if one don't have any idea of coding? See, at the end of the day, Moin, Python is a fun. It is not like the traditional programming when you go with the C or Java. Python is absolutely fun. The way how you write English, the way how you speak English, it's a similar way. So don't worry about that, whether you don't have a background with a computer science or a mathematics, but still you can do that. As I said earlier, AI is for all. So I saw a lot of people with a non-computer science, non-mathematics backgrounds also. People learn AI and they are doing jobs right now. So just you need to remove that mindset. Simple. How can degree students become AI employee? Pallavi. So how do you get started? We already answered this. So you need to learn AI. Python is a programming language and the techniques. There is no alternative. Unfortunately, for that, you need to learn Python. Yeah, see that. These are the skills what we are talking about. So nowadays, Pallavi, AI is quite open. So very easily you will get once you learn technology, you will get an internship. Maybe 3 months, 6 months, once you do an internship, you are proven there, automatically the same employer is going to offer you a job.
Sir,
Yeah, good, Pallavi. Yeah.
how is AI useful to BBA students, sir? I'm a BBA student, sir.
Okay, good. See, nowadays, if you look at one side, if you know the technology, other side, in the beginning, we spoke a lot of business models, right? Whether you talk
Hmm.
about Amazon. So those kind of business models, it cannot be recommended by a technical persons, right? For that,
Yes.
you should have some business knowledge. So that's where the PBM students, MBA pictures, MBA students are coming to the picture. So nowadays, if you look at very few MBA institutions started, even they introduced AI, not more on a coding perspective, from the business perspective. I think last year Amity has introduced it, even Geetam has introduced it, AI and MBA course. Okay. So it's not only
Okay, sir.
technology perspective, from business model perspective, from domain knowledge perspective, from business analyst perspective, we need a lot of MBA people.
Sir,
Right?
please suggest me what to do after degree to
See, there is
become
no other.
AI.
By the way, as I told you, there is no alternative. Unfortunately, you have to learn AI. And it's,
Okay.
trust me, it's a
Is
fun.
there any AI course, sir?
Go to course era, course, COURSE, courseera.com. So it's absolutely free. If you want a certificate, then only you need to pay. No need of taking certificate, just learn the subject. And even there is a one Stanford University course is there on a machine learning. You go to even YouTube, you have a bunch of courses are free. Can MBA passed out take this course? Yes, I have. So it's quite open, as I said. It's open for all. There is no specific, this restriction. As I said, MBA is open for all. Sorry, AI is open for all. How do we integrate AI with existing IT solutions like ServiceNow, Remedy, any PAM solution? Okay, ServiceNow. When you're talking ServiceNow, now let's say you want to understand the attrition rate. So what you have in a ServiceNow, the feature, the number, if you look at attrition rate, it won't show you the properly. So as much as you get the good data, you need to solve the problem, right? So as much as you get some good data, you can do that. Whether see at the end of the day, if you don't have a right data, your results won't be accurate. So it is something like a junk in, junk out. When you have as much as good data, your results will be accurate. Can commerce graduate can make their career in AI? Yes, Mr. PC. I don't know what is the name of this person. PC. Yes, this year I believe for commerce students also there is something called data science is getting introduced for commerce students. It's open. There is no science students, social students, or commerce students or engineering students. AI is for all, as I said. How helpful can AI be for ERP consultants? See, even at the end of the day, when you're talking ERP consultants, in ERP, you'll be specifically related to one domain. Might be a sales, might be a finance, might be a logistics, right? So when somebody is building the product specifically for sales, obviously that would be helpful your domain knowledge. Can we use Java language in AI? Motion, yes, you can do using Java, but whatever we are doing using Python, also that can be done using Java, but major of the cases, the best practice always suggest is Python. Because in some cases, while building the model, there is some practical problems. So that's why always the code has to be written in AI. Python. Very few people works on Java, especially when you are building a product in AI. How does it help the HR consultants? Asma. See, with the AI, you can do anything. What are the applications you have in information technology? That same things can be developed and built using AI. It's not specifically one department or one sector. You can use widely. As I said, for HR, now let's say you want to understand run the payroll system. You want to build a payroll system at a most economic way. You can use AI and build a payroll system, attrition analysis, all that. You might not able to answer, then the organizer enable to audio to ask for questions. What is this?
That was the old one, sir. You can continue
Okay.
looking at the questions and answers. Yeah.
Okay.
There are some good questions in the recent chat window. There are some good questions.
Yes, I
people are giving you tough times of questions.
No problem. We will spend sufficient time. How mid-career level people get into AI? Syed, Syed, as I told you, there is no alternative. Unfortunately, whether you are a fresher, whether you are a 10 years experienced person or 15 years, you have to learn AI. So these are the techniques what I'm showing on the screen. This is the minimum. And probably if you are related to a product management side, yes, you need to be familiar with the product management activities. What typically in a product management activities can be done. Because when you relate it to project management, it's a quite different. What we call in a product management is completely a different activities. Amazon cashierless stores, how does it recognize buyer? Just when you are getting into the shop with a facial recognition, first it will understand the system. When you are buying the product with the IoT, with the sensing, it will understand which product taken by which buyer. Simple. And finally, it will be billed to your account. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm pretty interested in AI. Where I'm supposed to start? How does coaching classes in Hyderabad? In Hyderabad, maybe applied AI course. That might be a good institution in Hyderabad. If you are searching for online, go for Coursera. Any samples AI, we can refer the while learning. The question is not clear, Mohammed. I'm not able to understand. Any samples AI we can refer while learning. What do you mean by this? Can you make it more elaborated? Could you please recommend the best institute to learn AI? Nawaz. Guys, see, unfortunately, as this is the open source technology, you have a lot of players in the market. So just go to that website, see the reviews. Maybe, per my knowledge from Hyderabad, yes, Applied AI is the best one. And if you're looking at global, go to Coursera. That's the best website. You will have multiple university courses there. Coursera, COURSE, era.com. edux.org. Or even go to GitHub. In GitHub also you have a lot of material. Go to YouTube, you have a lot of materials there. Question from Sultan. I haven't seen much roles on your slides focusing on business analytics, business process consultants. Sultan, when I say subject matter experts, that's all related to business. Without business analyst, without domain expert, we can't do anything, right? So they are very important. That's covered as part of subject matter expert.
Yeah. Yes, so hi, sir. I actually wanted to understand roles who are working with the business process teams on the management consultant side. So they are the ones who would decide what technology of AI can be used and leveraged.
No, don't decide. Let me tell you, they won't decide, Sultan. They will give you the domain knowledge. The person who is going to decide is a chief technology officer along with the solution architects and application architects. These are the persons who are going to decide which technology we have to deploy. It's not by the domain person.
So can the solution architect be a non-technical person who knows the context
No.
but not the technology coding?
No.
Okay.
Solution architect, application architect, data architect, these guys are hands-on and there must be a technical person.
Okay. Got it.
So domain persons are the persons who are going to give you, now let's say I want to understand the process in manufacturing industry. So again, if you take manufacturing industry, you'll have two flavors, discrete and non-discrete. Now let's say in a discrete manufacturing, so I want to understand the process. I'm a technical guy, I won't know much details. That's where the domain person will come and he will give you more details, right? That way.
Okay. And any colleges in Hyderabad which are offering like formal degree courses on AI for undergrads? I mean, any plans that you are aware of in the future?
This year, unfortunately, due to this COVID, still notification has not came. Let me tell you, this year you are going to have a 4 years degree. The like way how you got a BTech. Now BTech in AI course is introduced this year. In India, you will have more than 150 colleges. Whether you talk CMR, whether you talk Saint Pius, everyone they are introducing 4 years BTech course.
Okay, but not in Hyderabad because I've seen SPJN offering some courses around.
In Hyderabad only, Sultan. CMR introducing, Ashoka group of institutions they are introducing. Because at the background, we are helping while creating the content. That's where I came to know. Because even Orbit Shifters is into a few reskilling space where we are creating 10 AI courses for Singapore government. That way, we are helping very few institutions in India. Even yesterday, day before yesterday, we had a AI Center of Excellence launched in Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. So even they are also offering BTech in AI course. So for my knowledge, this year, not less than 150 colleges who are introducing BTech in AI course. Maybe just search, go to AICTE, or you name any institution in Hyderabad, I'll tell you whether they're offering or not. For my knowledge, CMR is offering, Malareddy group of institutions, you take any college, they're introducing. Ashoka group of institution, yes, they're introducing. Mofkanjia, they're introducing. Saint Pius, they're introducing. Okay.
That's good. Good to hear that. Thank you, sir.
So how is AI is used for science students? See, science students also, maybe when you talk about biochemistry, all this stuff, genomics, so everywhere is AI is used. Maybe a science student can understand at a high level, not a programming, that can be useful, right? More from a domain knowledge perspective. Yeah, thanks, Mohammed Afroz. So Afroz has given the website details there, coursera.org. Thank you. How can we use AI field of health and safety? Health, yes, we are using very, this is the right context, Mohammed. Right now, if you look at for COVID, people are using a lot of social distance apps, right? So that's all related to AI. Even our bodyguard, the central government has introduced that app, right? So even if you look at, there is a little AI is introduced there. Abdullah Faruqi. So sharing my question with a small background detail. Fortunately, I have operationally handled most of the AI projects such as emotional intelligence, shopping, OCR, image tagging, video intelligence, autonomous driving, content engineering, moderation for removing sensitive content from social media. What courses should I pursue to enter coding field? Guys, see, as I told you, whether you are a student or 5 years experience, so this is minimum to minimum. The Python is the programming language, and when you say clustering, regression, classification, text mining, scoring, ensemble model building, model maintenance in deep learning, convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, long short-term memory, natural language processing. Apart from that, even computer vision is missing here. So these are the minimum. When you say AI full stack engineer, you should have a combination of all this. If you don't have all this knowledge, then you will be known as a machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer or computer vision engineer. That is how it would be segregated. If you know everything in this technology, then that's called your AI full stack engineer. If you are very specific to one, let's say you are very strong at machine learning, then you will be known as machine learning engineer. If you are strong at deep learning, you are known as deep learning engineer. Rudina, that's your question is already answered. Just see that coursera.org. Any forums are finding like-minded people to form the group of 8 people. Maybe you can try on social media or in your circle, Sultan. What do you recommend? Doing master in AI or paid courses or AI available in the market? Moin, let's say if you are a student, just go for a PG course in AI. If you are a working professional, maybe you can just opt for some course, even through Coursera or Applied AI. Maybe pick one good one, you just go ahead. What are the best skills in AI you recommend, sir? This is already answered. On the screen, it's there. Again. Mohammad Sajid Khan, the same question. Answer is there on the screen. Oh, sorry. I am automation test engineer. How may AI will help as I am working with the Java? Raghib Anjum. Well, automation, when you say automation, are you guys using RPA, robotics process automation? So in general, RPA is 2 types, basic level of RPA and advanced RPA. When you talk about advanced RPA, yes, you have to use AI. There is no alternative. But basic RPA, you don't use AI there. So I'm working on Java. As I told you, Anjum, so Java is not, probably in a few cases it would be useful, but majorly we'll use Python. For AI, especially, you have to learn Python. There is no alternative. Is it possible to learn by self, Mohammed? Yes, technically possible. You need to create a schedule of the items. Maybe I saw a person who learned by own within 90 days to 180 days is the basic period. 3 months to 6 months you have to spend. So don't be in assumption that you can learn like this or in 1 month. So minimum 3 months, max 6 months. Because once you learn, there are a lot of data sets are available in online. Just you need to pick the data, you need to apply that. So you need to make your hands as much as dirty.
Hi Mahesh, this is Fayyaz Hashmani, and I would like. Currently, I am working as Oracle Apps DBA database administrator on Oracle platform. So my role is to manage database and it's a completely storage kind of thing. So how does AI will help me out on this if I opt for this?
So you want to shift your career from Oracle Apps to AI?
Yeah.
Okay, see, as you guys are already working for a while with the database, I'm sure you are very familiar with SQL, right? So the way how you use SQL statements, it's almost 90% similarly the way how you use your SQL scripts, the SQL tuples. Python also we use tuples in the same language. So for you, I don't think so. I think 30 days to 60 days is a good time for you, because here what you will see the difference is, apart from the traditionally the way how we write the tuples or the queries, here you are going to build the model and you are going to train the model. That's where the difference comes. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So does it will make any changes related to database management? As I could see in your PPT that most of the things are like data scientists or machine learning kind of thing.
So because it's
So
all at the end of the day, if you look at it's all data engineering. Now let's say whatever the data you have, which is stored in the form of a database, by applying this data science or machine learning techniques, you are going to identify the patterns which the data is hidden. That is the goal of data science, right? So identifying the unhidden data or identifying the patterns in the data. So traditional databases won't do. We don't do all that, right? It's always storing, processing, and manipulating. We never do analytics in database level, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, there is other question from Mohammed. Within how many years will be going to totally automation work? We are already impacted. Automation is already in place, my friend Mohammed. It is not going to take much time. Maybe that is the reason why we are talking 4.0 industrial revolution. Maybe there will be a little percentage non-automation work will be there, but remaining it's going on in a very rapid speed. Irfan Khan, I already told you applied AI for my knowledge in Hyderabad. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed has shared one repository link in GitHub. See, you need to Fayaz, question is YouTube lots of things about AI, but how reach good path? Please suggest. Maybe you can search with a AI applied course or computer vision or deep learning. Search in that way, you will get the links. There is a one Stanford University on machine learning. There is a free. A lot of people are there. Maybe just you need to spend some time. थोड़ा time spend करो यार. Don't be थोड़ा time spend करो. You'll get it.
So, Mahesh sir, this is Laik Sultan again. I just have a quick thought to make. So I think when for people to get started with AI, I think they need to first understand the importance of data. Okay, that's the beginning, right? And in a simplistic way, data can be in an Excel file. I mean, that's the way how you have to start understanding the rows and columns, how to keep it structured, or how to make a unstructured data to structured, and then start learning statistics so that you get to understand the probabilities and all that. And then progressing to AI would make really a stronger, what do you call, professional sort of a person. That's my quick note.
So when you are learning, even in the part of the course, the first people will teach you how to import Excel data into Python and how to pre-process the data, how to remove the null values. So as when you are learning in any course, this is how they do. Mujamil, sorry if I pronounced wrongly. Mujamil, where can I get internships? Okay, so Internshala is the one good website, or probably you need to be spend some time in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn also the best source to get internships. Rukmuddin, business intelligence and artificial intelligence are one and the same. No, business intelligence is a set of tools and methodologies which can be used for the decision making process. Sorry? Artificial intelligence is something different completely. So when you're comparing BI and AI, I can say the advanced BI is known as AI. Guys, you need to mute yourself. Mr. Habib, can you mute yourself, please? Guys, if you're not using, please mute yourself. So BI is, let's say you have some data, the past data for the last 5 years. I have some data. Using that, I can create some insights and I can do some kind of a diagnosis. What happened, when happened, that's it. But with the AI, using this 5 years data, I can predict what can be done like that. But BI is only just, you can do what happened. You want to understand, you can do that kind of analytics. But AI is advanced BI, you can say another way. Right, okay then. Thank you, Sultan. So I conducted in the last this 1.5 year more than 200 plus workshops, 60 plus faculty development programs. So that's where we know when we are teaching for the person based on the consumers, we will change the content. When I'm talking to CXOs, that language is different. When I'm talking to student, that language is different. Thanks, Sultan.
So you should be having multiple versions of this tag in that case.
Correct.
But I really liked it. It was really simple for people from non-technical background to understand it. And the way you carried the story from the beginning, the Google Mail example, and all those things, I mean, I can easily relate to it. Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Ayam, thanks for the kind of words. The entire credit goes to CGC team and Mr. Syed especially. Syed is my another colleague in, we are part of ISA. Guys, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with ISA. It's a society, International Society of Automation. We are part of ISA Hyderabad group. Very often, every month, we used to connect the sessions. It's a free, anytime you can join. Just try to follow ISA Hyderabad, or even now the CGC team has become officially the partner for ISA Tech Talk sessions. So I request you to join whenever possible. Every month, we used to do the same Tech Talks. Going to the next question. Mohammed Shah, can you please share about your AI real life project experience? I can tell you at least 1-2 days minimum. So go to my LinkedIn. There is a one real life lessons which I shared my experience there. Maybe that would be a good way. Thanks, Mohammed. Mohammed, I shared one more link here. Nasir Khan, you are too early for your next session. How can we make our students in schools getting basics of AI? Anything to start with? Syed, already CBSE introduced it at class 8 and class 9 last year. This year, they introduced it at class 1. Trust me, CBSE, from class 1, people are going to have a AI at a very basic level. But programming will start from class 6 onwards. Till class 5, it would be some kind of a teasers, puzzles, some kind of a games.
I'm scared, sir, that if they are playing game PUBG and using AI, then we are gone.
No. See, because ideally they want to, the intent of CBSE is to introduce AI at a theory level. That's why just they want to create some curiosity. And from 6th class onwards, because for a class 1 kid, when you say programming, he won't understand anything, right? Just it's some kind of a introduction. But from class 6 onwards, they will be having a programming.
But that is the right time where we can make them remember the syntax formats and commands that they will never forget in their life.
Correct. If you almost 1.5 years back, 1.5 years back, we took around 20 people, class 6, class 7, class 8, and class 9. We took almost 30 hours, very basic introduction of AI. So where they are able to make their hands dirty and they are able to do that. Before CBSE, we started, we did some wild experiment in Bangalore. We conducted 5 days boot camp in summer. So even if you ask me, that is the right age actually. When I compare to the learning ability of the graduation student compared to high school kids are too fast. They are learning pretty fast. Mohammed, my LinkedIn ID is just search my name, Mahesh Kumar CV. MAHESH space Kumar space CV. Nasir Khan, that's a good question. What is the difference between deep learning and machine learning and AI? See, in general, AI is, let's say this is the umbrella. Under that, you will have one sub element which is machine learning, which is deep learning, which is computer vision, natural language processing, search, ethics. Like this, you'll have a sub items. But everything comes under AI, where AI is your core under which you'll have different elements. Whether sometimes we'll use a machine learning. So without machine learning, majority of the on the screen you can see that clustering, regression, classification. All the techniques are related to machine learning techniques, what we call. So on the down you can see deep learning. Under that you have a CNN, RNN, LSTM. It's all something like nuts and bolts. AI is not a one. It's a multiple combination of different things. Thanks, Muhammad Shaib. That was thanks, Syed Shah Isa Quadri. Sorry, Quadri, if I pronounce your name wrongly. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your kind words. Moin, how to approach companies after learning AI? Moin, if you see, as I told you, once you do your projects, you need to keep your source code in a GitHub and you need to start writing blogs in LinkedIn. That's where you are going to brand yourself. Then automatically people will reach you. No need to chase companies. They will reach you.
Sir, can we form a forum within CGC for AI where I request you to lead it so that like you said, we can you can assign some tasks and assignments to these people and let them work and come back to you.
See, Sai, the problem is until unless if these guys are not learned or trained AI, we cannot do anything. Because even
We can
with having
like today
that
is
knowledge
31st
also, it's sometimes difficult. Because this is
yeah,
the tools. There is.
Today is 31st of May, so we'll tell that okay by 30th of June, you guys should be level on a scale of 10, you should be at least 7 by 30th of June. We can take their exam.
Impossible, my friend. Without teaching, see, actually, I tell you, with the kind of encouragement today, what they got, it would be something like a 10 packs. Okay, so after 3 packs, after 3 days, automatically two packs will be gone. After 1 week, another 2 packs will be gone. Because people are quite occupied in a day-to-day lives. Probably a 1 week. After that, again they will go back to their normal life. I'm busy with my job. I'm busy with my academics. It's hardly this hike would be a 1 week or 2 weeks, not more than that. Sorry guys, I'm speaking very bluntly. Will work out. Don't worry. Okay. Mohammed asks, the question is from Mohammed, how many hours we need to spend daily AI learning by self? Strictly 2 hours is a good time. If you are spending a serious commitment, 2 hours daily, that's a good time. You should experiment at least 2 months minimum. Pick one technique. Let me tell you, keep 2 weeks, one technique. Let's say clustering, 2 weeks, blog by blog, build by build, one blog, one blog, one blog. Learn that subject, take some data, apply that. 2 weeks. Then again, the other 2 weeks regression, another 2 weeks classification, like that. Yeah, you can learn. Okay, let's take a last question. Hajiduddin. Question from Azizuddin. What should be the roadmap for being a professional into the stream, and any references for online courses which is the best? Okay, so here are my thoughts. The first is you need to learn AI, at least these skills what I'm showing on the screen. Second, you need to complete at least 1-2 projects, a real real-time projects. Then try to get some kind of a internship. Even if people are offering, if you get an opportunity where people are not going to pay you also, for the sake of subject, do internship free. There is nothing wrong. So this is the milestone. One, excuse me, learning AI. Two, doing at least 1 or 2 hands-on projects, real life projects. 3, internship, at least 3 months, max 6 months. Then automatically the 4, you will get into a job. So these are the basic steps. Syed Munawar, please connect more and more speakers to CGC for understanding technologies for tomorrow. Sure, Syed is already taking that. Okay, so if you don't have much questions, let's stop here. Thanks, CGC team, for the wonderful opportunity to interact with the young minds. So I believe all the guys are from different places, not only from Hyderabad, I believe. Agree?
Yeah, we have.